Welcome to Lobster Magnets Review, the channel, the review. I'm here with my good buddy Gorogregoro.
What's up?
Hey,
It's Gorogregoro.
We're happy. We're enthusiastic. Whoa, Snapchat.
Whoa.
Oh, oh, we do not have the production values to pull that off, but supposedly people like it.
Yeah.
We're happy all the time. Hype train to 1,000, and hype train goes to probably like maybe a 45 for this one.
Cringe train going up.
Yeah, I wish I could say the hype train was going off the tracks, but it wasn't a bad chapter. Like, I liked it much better than last week, but this whole thing feels like a huge retcon for the series. It's like someone told him that, like, you got to get rid of the stupid strongest primate guy. We didn't come here to see kids fight. We came here to see Dr. Stone solve science in survival in the Stone Age. That's what got you published. That's what we need to go back to. Let's get back to basics, bitch. And it's like sort of like, it returns to the charm of like why I originally really liked the series. But this is shit we've all seen before. We saw him do like the scientific deductive process, make some little bit of progress. We don't need to like see this again. This is like the most unnecessary prequel flashback that you could ask for. The one thing I do like is I like the sort of like dual timelines where it's like, Teju in the future yelling out to his best bro Sekku that, I want you to live, just like Sekku was yelling out to Teju, because now we've retconned that Sekku was kind of responsible for Teju's revival by sticking him in a cave.
But Isaac, now we have a backstory for E equals MC squared written on his fucking shirt.
Yes, this is what we fucking needed. We needed an incredible backstory to this stupid E equals MC squared. I'm gonna rant like a motherfucker on this. It's an amazing backstory for the little discarded lazy design thing on his stupid costume because, not like it wasn't the most lazy scientific thing. Oh, everyone thinks it's Albert Einstein, so let's put E equals MC squared. That'll be like his fucking trademark, his fucking logo, his signature. That'll be his thing. That'll be his brand. And we need a fucking no. It was like a cute little piece of discardable that was honestly it was kind of dumb. It was really dumb. It was really stupid. But I could tolerate it because I thought the series had other virtues. We did not need some sort of like fucking backstory about how he was so devoted to the E equals MC squared. He carved it in his own blood.
I'm so scientifically frustrated.
On some level, this should feel like something that I would love in a way. I've said it before. I love it when shonen characters their commitment to their ideals and their values are like.
You gotta admit, this is gonna look so good once it's animated.
It's like carved into their blood.
If this is animated, this scene is gonna be so good. It's gonna be like, it's gonna be like dramatic potato chip eating in Death Note, essentially.
Exactly. Studio Bones, Madhouse, top tier studio, just trigger. I hated it. We did not need like a backstory for E equals MC squared. The only thing I like is the fact that it's like, it establishes their bromance that like, oh, they're two halves of the coin. They can't live without each other. They each provide something the other does not have. And that they make good best buddies and friends, even though they don't really have much in common. One's just kind of a dumbass. The other guy's far too smart, but the far too smart guy can at least appreciate the virtues of the dumbass. And the dumbass can appreciate the virtues of incredible science, even if he doesn't understand it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. The bromance was pretty good, but there was a lot of, like you said, there was a little bit of repetitiveness to this backstory. I thought it was only going to be like 1 or 2 chapters. It seems like it's like almost stretched out to 3, and this seems a little bit long.
It feels like this is the end of it, like, at least. It's weird, though. It was like, it feels like there was some sort of change of direction. Like, you can't keep doing this. Like, it feels like a reintroduction to people who, about, like, what made the series interesting initially.
Yeah. The whole explanation for E equals MC squared thing was like, oh, how did I use up so much energy for 3,700 years? The brain can only exert that much so much energy, in a certain amount of time without any sustenance.
The bullshit pseudoscience is kind of fun. I enjoy that. I like him like, ooh, what's the mystery of the stone universe? Oh, what is it, aliens? Was it created by a country? All those cute little theories. But like that would have been good chapter 4 or 5. Not now.
Yeah. Maybe how should they have introduced this part of the story? Maybe they should have like cuz like the thing about following Taiju's character is, following Taiju's character is like a bit for like more for the newer reader, I guess. Just trying to understand the universe like through Taiju's perspective, like, oh, what's going on here? Oh, I'm learning about this now. And then I guess Senku's character is more like knowledgeable. He'll like explain things, to himself a little bit, but not really. He'll like maybe he'll skip a few things like that haven't been established yet. Uh, no, he'll skip some explanations of things here and there. But for someone like Taiju, you have to sort of start from the ground up. So that's why Taiju's a good character to make the
Well,
main character.
you could say that he's like a good audience surrogate, and the fact that like most of us are not as smart as Sekku. We don't like know our high school chemistry and college chemistry and science that well, except for me like I fucking love science videos, which is just sort of bare bones.
And the whole high school romance thing is a very it's a nice thing to relate to as well for a character. And but how would you have introduced this whole backstory with Senku?
Uh, I wouldn't have, or I would have like just done it very initially. It's like, oh hey, tell me about how you've been surviving all this time. Then Seku like describes the process of his revival, and like what theory. I would have used it in terms of like him trying to find the revival formula, and like all of the stuff he'd done before. That would have been a good time to introduce it and sort of like build that mystery. Like how do we break people out from revival and make that part of his exploration.
Because it seems like this is it's a really cool backstory, but it's like very misplaced in the pacing of the story right now.
It's completely redundant. Like we're not at the point where like you can rest on your laurels and like spend like a backstory like retreading. Like some of the Naruto backstory is kind of like maybe a little misplaced, but it had earned the right to like spend like 5 chapters on the backstory of the Senju Hiroshima and the Uchiha Senju rivalry.
Yeah, like right now, this is like
We have not.
this hasn't
There
been
just,
earned yet, I guess.
there just isn't enough iconography in the Doctor Stone universe. There's like 4 fucking characters, maybe 5, including Shadow Girl, and they just live in a forest, and that's it. There's just not enough to like. We need to bring everyone up to speed on what they've been missing.
You think maybe they could have done this later on then, after a whole mess?
No. Not unless there was some crucial piece of information to get out from it.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I could see that. That would make it more meaningful.
If there was like some sort of crucial detail that like figures into the larger world that like ties in the flashback, then that would have made sense. But like here, it's like we just want to see them survive. We want to see them rebuild civilization. We don't really care about the stone thing. It's like the least interesting part of the series. It's them living as cavemen and their struggle as cavemen, not how he got the E equals MC squared. But I still don't despise. I'm still interested. Like it's still one of the most exciting series. I've seen far worse things that can happen.
Just right now, it seems like it's going down a slight decline, like a sort of steady decline at this point, where you hope it's like a roller coaster ride, right? Or it's like it's going down and down and down, and you're hoping like there's gonna be this big, huge like rising point later on.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping it like catches its footing because like Promised Neverland, like in its like chapter 14, was still like building the mystery and suspense, even though like the story wasn't moving at an astronomically fast rate.
Yeah, I mean, Promised Neverland is like another creature on its own, though. I feel it's like it's definitely gonna be one of the better stories in Shonen Jump that I've ever seen in a while.
Yeah. Oh God. Someday I want to force you. Did I ever tell you about U19?
Mm, I think you did. It was
I,
like
yeah,
essentially Promised Neverland, but like really dumb.
yeah, it's terrible. It's shitty. There's all these stupid ideas. It's basically like, the by the books example of how you make a shonen manga. And Doctor Stone's a little bit above that in terms of its setup, in terms of like, it's a really interesting setup. I also like the fact that it doesn't have powers, even though it's a little bit schlockier and less classy than Promised Neverland. It's
Yeah.
like, get focused. I want science. I want to see them build irrigations. Maybe make them fight monkeys. I wouldn't be against that. Maybe there's super advanced monkeys. There's this
Super
really
advanced monkeys.
there was this really weird, interesting episode about like called like what Earth would look like after humans, speculating that like possibly like octopuses could evolve into a superior intelligent life form that like takes the role of man. You know what? Have that. That'd be interesting.
I don't know if I'd appreciate that. I just like the civilization building aspect of it. I think
True,
that's just the coolest part of it.
true. That is like I think the strongest appeal of the series right now. It's just like we're back to basics. People love that fantasy.
Yeah, I think just that in general, like even the politics like behind how they build the civilization was interesting to me. Like maybe you think like the whole primate guy versus Senku thing was a little bit stupid, or you thought it was dumb, right? Or something.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it.
I
I thought there were
I
interesting.
like the politics around that, even though it's like very early on in this civilization. They're like debating very heavily like how this civilization should be built from the ground up, and when does that conversation take place? Like, why not now? Why not when we're about to free everyone from their stone carcasses and stuff with this miracle water formula? I think that's pretty cool. That's you know.
I think it needs to be enacted a little bit more, but you're right. The politics of building civilization are interesting, and like if you look at something like the core of the appeal of like something like The Walking Dead in the long term is that like it's sort of like, okay, the zombies aren't a threat now. How do we rebuild civilization? Which is what the later issues of The Walking Dead have been, in between the usual soap opera antics.
Oh, really? And that's what's going on in the comic?
Yeah. There's like a big time.
I haven't been following the Walking Dead comics. I want to catch up at some point.
There was one point though where I was really fucking pissed off. Like I loved it. They built this like little medieval civilization. It's really neat, and then like Kirkman has like this other civilization of like evil people who like wear zombie skins, and it was neat. But then like I was really pissed off because like he had this whole story arc where the zombie skin people send like a huge super herd of zombies at like the Rick civilization. I'm like, fuck you. This is the same shit you did like 5 times. Oh my god, there's a huge herd of zombies. They've got to deal with them. Although there's even more zombies. Look how many fucking zombies we drew on the page. Fuck you. You've done this like 3 times.
I mean, they don't want to go like super mutant zombies in this kind of story, though, right?
No, the zombies shouldn't evolve, but at the same time, like, no more throwing the zombies and overrunning their civilization. They built make it better civilization. More politics as they meet more people. That's interesting. Just like Dr. Stone building civilization is interesting. So, all right, so we're around the 15-minute mark, Greg. What would you rate this chapter?
I give it a 6.5.
6.5 for me. Like, I enjoyed it better than last week's issue, but I still think,
They're dragging on this backstory a little bit much. I like the backstory in general. I just think it's like, it needs to hurry up quickly. Just like get on with the rest of the story right now.
Well, it looks like he was revived in that last panel, so that's encouraging-ish. That's kind of fun and exciting, maybe. So fingers crossed. We'll see Dr. Stone ascend to a new height of of Shonen jumpiness.
Shonen jumpiness.
Yeah,
That's right.
Jumpiness and become oh God, Greg, would you cosplay as Dr. Stone at a con? Nobody would know who you are, but there'd be that one guy, that one manga reader who's like, "Oh my God, Dr. Stone, I know what that is," and you would make it.
I probably would. I mean, If I had the materials and the means to do it, I probably would. You know, I mean, I could do a really shitty one and like have like like some ragged scrubs and just write E equals MC squared on the on like the shirt
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like maybe like a blonde wig. Oh, I even have a blonde wig
Yeah,
actually.
you have that from that when I wanted to do that Yu-Gi-Oh thing. Well, we
We
might
never.
still do that. We
We,
might still do that. That might
yeah.
be something we do.
Yeah, that could still be a thing. We can record it for YouTube or something. I don't know.
We'll get to that one step at a time. One step at a time.
Yeah.
This is baby steps. You know, but you know, I have lots of fun, stupid, crazy shit I want to do just because it amuses me. I like making stuff. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my impassioned thoughts of the E equals MC squared. We'll see you in the next video.
All right. See you guys.